Welcome back to Becoming Ultimate Masters. I am so glad you are here with us
Yeah.
for this deep dive.
Yeah.
We are going to be exploring some pretty powerful concepts from Caroline Meiss's workshop
Right.
called All the Power You Cannot See.
Mhm.
And this one's especially great, I think, for folks that are young adults
Yeah.
or maybe still in high school, because we're going to uncover some insights that could totally change
Totally.
how you see yourself
Yeah.
and the world. You know, Miss doesn't just talk about power.
No.
She reveals how our understanding of it
Right.
is tied to our perception of God,
Yeah.
the universe,
Yeah.
even our own lives.
That's true.
It's deep stuff. But
For
trust me, it's super relevant to where you are right now.
Absolutely. Miss has this amazing ability to make these really big abstract concepts
Yeah.
feel relatable and practical.
Yeah.
Especially for younger people who are just starting to kind of figure things out.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive in. One of the things that really struck me
Okay.
was Mrs. analogy of life being like a train ride.
Yeah.
She talks about how we can get stuck in the caboose,
Mm-hmm.
looking back at all the choices we've made
Yeah.
and feeling powerless.
Oh, totally.
Have you ever felt that way? Like you're just being dragged along by life,
All the time.
not really in control of where you're going? I know I have.
Yeah, I think it's such a common experience,
Yeah.
especially for young people. You're transitioning from childhood to adulthood. You're
Yeah.
facing all these big decisions about your future. And
Right.
it's so easy to feel overwhelmed, like you're just along for the ride.
Yeah.
But what's so powerful about Mrs.'s analogy is that it reminds us we always have a choice.
Mhm.
We can't jump off the tracks of our lives,
Right.
but we can choose to move from the caboose to the engine.
So how do we do that?
How do we do that? Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because Miss argues that the most powerful forces in our lives are the unseen ones.
Uh-huh.
It's our thoughts, our choices,
Well-
how we interpret the world. She says it's like this invisible energy that's shaping our reality.
Okay.
So the first step is becoming aware of those unseen forces.
Okay.
Like, what are the thoughts that are constantly popping up in your mind?
Yeah.
Are they positive and empowering, or are they kind of negative and holding you back?
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's like if we're constantly focusing on what we don't want or dwelling on negative thoughts,
Yeah.
we're actually giving those forces more power.
Yeah, totally. And then those negative thought patterns, they can start to feel like
Mhm.
they're in control of you, keeping
Mhm.
you stuck in the caboose.
Yeah.
But what Miss is saying is that we have the power to choose different thoughts.
Okay.
We can consciously shift our focus to what we do want,
Right.
to the positive possibilities that are available to us.
Okay.
And that simple shift can start to move us towards the engine of our lives.
Okay, I am starting to see how this all connects.
Yeah.
But it also feels a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much to be aware of.
Right.
Are there any practical tips that Miss gives
For sure.
for actually managing
Yeah.
those unseen forces, like our thoughts and choices?
Absolutely. One of the things that Miss emphasizes is the importance of becoming multisensory.
Oh.
She says we need to move beyond just our 5 physical senses
Okay.
and start to tune into what she calls the energetic data
Okay.
that's all around us.
Wait, what do you mean by energetic data?
Energetic data.
That sounds a little...
Yeah,
Okay.
I know it can sound a little out there at first,
Yeah.
but think about it this way. Have you ever walked into a room
Mm-hmm.
and you just sense the mood
Yeah.
before anyone has even said anything?
Yeah.
Or maybe you've met someone for the first time and you just instantly felt like you could trust them,
Yeah.
even though you had no logical reason to.
Yeah, you're right. I've definitely had experiences like that.
That's energetic data.
Okay.
It's like this invisible web of information that goes beyond what we can see.
Okay.
And Miss says that when we start to pay attention to that energy,
Yeah.
we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Yeah.
We start to see beyond the surface level
Yeah.
and tap into a whole new level of awareness.
That's so fascinating.
It is.
So how does that tie back to the idea of moving from the caboose
Okay.
to the engine?
Well, when you become more aware of the energy around you, you start to notice what drains your energy and what gives you energy.
Oh.
You start to see which people,
Okay.
which places, and which situations are aligned with your highest good,
Yeah.
and which ones are kind of holding you back. And that awareness gives you the power to make more conscious choices
Mm-hmm.
about where you direct your energy and attention.
It's like you're becoming more attuned
Right.
to your inner compass.
Exactly.
You're starting to trust your intuition
Yes.
and make choices that feel
Mhm.
truly aligned with who you are.
And that's a huge step.
Yep.
In moving from the caboose to the engine,
Mm.
it's about recognizing that you have the power to choose your direction,
Okay.
to create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling.
Yeah.
And it all starts with becoming aware of those unseen forces
Right.
that are at play in your life.
This is seriously mind-blowing stuff.
I know, right?
I'm already feeling more empowered just thinking about it.
Yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, boy.
Musk goes on to talk about how our understanding of power
Yeah.
influences our relationships, our sense of purpose,
Mm.
even our perception of God. And it
Right.
all ties back to this journey
Okay.
of moving from the love of power
Mhm.
to the power of love.
Can't wait to unpack all of that. And for all of you listening, we will be right back
Yes.
to dive even deeper into these amazing ideas from Caroline Mess.
I'm excited.
You too.
Okay, so let's talk about this idea of moving from the love of power
Okay.
to the power of love.
Yeah.
This is something that Miss really emphasizes throughout her work. And I think it's especially relevant for young people
Okay.
who are figuring out their place in the world.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
It seems like our culture is so focused on the love of power. You know, getting ahead, being successful, having all the things. It's easy to get caught up in that.
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean to shift to the power of love?
That's a great question. And it's something that Miss unpacks really beautifully.
Okay.
She says that the love of power is often about control,
Mm.
ego, and getting things from the world.
Okay.
It's about using power to get what you want,
Yeah.
even if it means stepping on other people
Right.
or compromising your values.
It's like that old saying, it's lonely at the top,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe that's because the love of power can actually isolate us
Exactly.
from others.
It creates this sense of separation, this me versus them mentality.
Right.
But the power of love is about connection,
Okay.
empathy, and giving something to the world.
It's about using your power to empower others, to make a positive difference,
Right.
to create a world that's more just and compassionate.
So it's not about giving up power
No.
altogether.
Right.
It's about
Yeah.
shifting how we use it.
Exactly. McGillis isn't saying that power is inherently bad.
Okay.
In fact, she believes that we are all incredibly powerful beings and that it's our birthright to tap into that power.
Okay.
But the key is to use that power in a way that's aligned with love, not ego.
You know, it's interesting to think about this in the context of the train analogy.
Oh, yeah.
If the love of power is like using coal to fuel the engine,
Yeah.
it might get you somewhere,
Yeah.
but it's ultimately unsustainable,
Uh-huh.
and it can cause a lot of harm along the way.
Right. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
The power of love, on the other hand, is like switching to a source of clean, renewable energy.
Okay.
It's a power that sustains us, that
Mhm.
connects us, that has
Yeah.
the potential to create a more beautiful and harmonious world.
This is making so much sense.
I know.
But I am also realizing
Yeah.
that this shift from the love of power to the power of love,
Right.
it's probably not
Yeah.
always easy.
No, it's not.
Are there any specific things we
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
to cultivate this kind of power?
Oh, for sure. Well, one of the things that Miss talks about
Okay.
is the importance of going through what she calls our baggage car.
What?
You know how she said that we can choose to be in the engine
Yeah.
or the caboose?
Yeah.
Well, to get to the engine, we often have to confront the baggage that's been holding us back.
Oh, that sounds intense.
It can be.
What kind of baggage are we talking about here?
Well, it could be anything that's weighing us down.
Okay.
You know, it could be old emotional wounds, limiting beliefs, fears, negative thought patterns.
Right.
It's all that stuff that we tend to kind of carry around with us,
Yeah.
even though it's no longer serving us.
So it's like we have to clear out the clutter before we can really move forward.
Exactly. And sometimes that means making some tough choices.
Okay.
You know, it might mean letting go of relationships that are no longer healthy or challenging beliefs that have been holding us back.
You know, that reminds me of something May said about having to tell certain passengers
Oh, yeah.
to get off the train.
That's right. Sometimes to create space
Yeah.
for the things that truly nourish us, we have to let go of the things that are draining our energy.
Right.
And that can be hard.
Yeah.
Because it often involves facing our fears and stepping outside of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
But Miss reminds us that it's a necessary part of the journey.
I think a lot of young people struggle with this idea of setting boundaries
Yeah.
and saying no to things.
Totally.
We want to be liked.
Yeah.
We want to fit in.
Uh-huh.
We don't want to disappoint people.
Right.
But maybe that's part of what keeps us
Yeah.
stuck in the caboose.
That's such an important point. It's so easy to get caught up
Uh-huh.
in what other people think,
Yeah.
especially when you're young.
Yeah.
But Mus is encouraging us to trust our own inner wisdom,
Okay.
to make choices that are aligned with our own values and goals, even if they're not popular or easy.
It's like taking ownership of our own train.
Exactly.
Right. We get to decide who's riding with us and where we are going.
And that's a powerful feeling.
Yeah.
It's about reclaiming our power and using it to create a life
Okay.
that feels authentic and meaningful.
All this talk about unseen power and energy
Yeah.
is making me wonder about something. You know how Miss talks about shifting our perception of God?
Oh, yeah.
How does that tie into this whole idea
Okay.
of moving from the love of power to
Right.
the power of love?
That's a great question. And it brings us to another really important
Okay.
aspect of Mrs. Work.
Okay.
She challenges that traditional image of God as this kind of off-planet male figure who's judging us and controlling everything.
Right.
She says it's like an outdated archetype
Okay.
that no longer serves us.
She even called it a Mickey Mouse image of God.
Oh, yeah.
I laughed out loud when I heard that.
Right. It's this idea of God as this kind of like external authority figure that we have to please or appease.
That's right.
And Miss argues that this limited view of God can actually keep us stuck in a victim mentality.
Yeah.
Always waiting for someone else to save us or
Right.
to solve our problems.
So instead of seeing God as this external force,
Yes.
she is suggesting that we see God as something more internal.
Exactly. Miss encourages us to see God as love,
Okay.
light, and law.
Okay.
And this is a much more expansive and empowering
Okay.
understanding of the divine.
Okay.
It's not about worshiping a distant deity,
Right.
but recognizing the divine within ourselves
Yeah.
and in all of creation.
That's a beautiful concept, but I'm a little confused about
Right.
the law part.
Yeah.
What does she mean by that?
Well, Miss explains that the universe operates according to certain principles,
Okay.
laws of nature that govern everything from physics to human behavior.
Okay.
These laws are impersonal, meaning they apply to everyone equally.
It's kind of like gravity, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who you are. If you jump off a roof,
Right.
you are going to fall.
You are going to fall. And Miss suggests that by aligning ourselves with these universal laws,
Okay.
we tap into a source of power
Okay.
that's far greater than our individual ego. It's about understanding how energy works,
Right.
how our thoughts and actions create ripples in the fabric of reality.
So it's about taking responsibility for our role in co-creating the world we want to live in.
That's right. And it's about recognizing that we're all interconnected, that our thoughts, our actions,
Right.
our energy have an impact on the collective consciousness.
Wow. It's getting really deep.
I know.
But I am also feeling this sense of hope
Yeah.
and possibility. Like if we could each tap into this unseen power,
Right.
if we could each shift from the love of power to the power of love, we can actually create a better world.
That's exactly what Miss is inviting us to do.
Okay.
She believes that we have the power to heal ourselves,
Yeah.
to heal each other, and to heal the planet.
Wow.
And it all starts with recognizing the unseen power within ourselves.
Okay.
The power of our thoughts, our choices,
Right.
and our connection to the divine essence that flows through all of creation.
This deep dive into Caroline Myss's work has been so mind-expanding.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been given a whole new set of tools for understanding and navigating life.
I know, it's powerful stuff.
But I know we've just scratched the surface here.
Right.
What are some of the key takeaways that you think our listeners should really hold on to? It feels like we've covered so much,
I know, right?
but it's also interconnected.
It is.
Like Mies is giving us this whole new map for understanding life
Yeah, it's about making those connections. Yeah.
between our inner world and the outer world,
Mm-hmm.
between our thoughts and actions,
All right.
between our individual lives and the collective consciousness.
So if we are thinking about those connections
Yeah.
and how to actually apply these ideas to our lives, what would you say are the most important things to remember?
I think one of the key takeaways is the power of our thoughts.
Okay.
Ms. keeps reminding us that every thought we have is contributing
Yeah.
to this collective energy field,
Right.
and that this energy field has been amplified in the nuclear age.
Okay.
So in a way, our thoughts are more powerful than ever before.
That's kind of scary, but also really exciting.
Yeah.
It means that we each have a responsibility
Nice.
to be mindful of what we are putting out into the world.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't about suppressing our thoughts or
Right.
trying to be positive all the time.
Yep.
It's about becoming aware of our thought patterns
Yeah.
and making conscious choices about the thoughts we choose to focus on.
If we are constantly dwelling on negativity, fear, worry,
Right.
we're feeding those energies.
Right.
But if we can shift our focus to thoughts of love, compassion, gratitude, we are contributing to a more positive and harmonious collective energy field.
It's like we are each little radio transmitters
Yes.
sending out signals all the time.
Right.
And we get to choose what kind of frequency we were broadcasting.
That's a great analogy. And Manas would say that the more we practice tuning into those higher frequencies,
Okay.
through meditation, prayer, mindfulness, whatever works for us,
Yeah.
the more powerful our transmissions become.
Okay, so mindful thinking is key.
Yes.
What else would you say is important?
I think another really important takeaway is the idea of multisensory perception.
Okay.
Musk really encourages us to go beyond our 5 physical senses and to develop our intuition, our ability to sense the subtle energies around us.
So it's not just about thinking differently. It's about perceiving differently.
Right.
Seeing the world through a more holistic lens.
Exactly. And that expanded perception can help us navigate life's challenges
Right.
with more grace and resilience.
Okay.
It allows us to tap into a deeper wisdom
Yeah.
that goes beyond logic and reason.
I used to be really skeptical about all this talk about energy and intuition.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of woo-woo and out there.
Yeah,
But I am starting to see how it could be really practical
it is.
and empowering.
And the more we practice paying attention to our intuition, the stronger it becomes.
Right.
It's like a muscle that we can develop through practice.
So how do we actually do that?
Yeah. How do we start to strengthen our multisensory perception?
Yeah.
Well, Miss recommends practices like meditation,
Okay.
spending time in nature, paying attention to our dreams.
Right.
She also talks about the importance of being present in our bodies,
Okay.
noticing our physical sensations and listening to our gut feelings.
It's like learning to tune into a different frequency. Right.
Yeah.
We're so used to operating from our heads, from our logical minds, that we often miss the subtle messages
Right.
that our bodies and our intuition are trying to send us.
Absolutely. And those messages can be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
They can guide us towards the people, the places and experiences that are truly aligned with our highest good.
Right.
And they can help us avoid situations that might be harmful or draining.
This whole conversation has been so inspiring.
It is powerful stuff.
But it's also given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It's like Miss is challenging us to step up,
Mm-hmm.
to become more conscious creators of our own realities,
Yeah,
and to use our power to make a positive difference in the world.
she is. And she believes that young people are especially well suited for this task.
Oh, really?
You have a fresh perspective,
Ah.
a passion for change, and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
You have the potential to be powerful agents of transformation in the world.
That's a pretty awesome challenge.
It is.
But I think a lot of young people might feel overwhelmed
Yeah.
or unsure of where to start.
Right.
What advice would you give to someone who is listening to this and feeling inspired,
Yeah.
but also a little intimidated?
That's a great question.
Mm.
I think the first step is to be gentle with yourself.
Okay.
Remember that this is a journey and it's okay to start small.
Okay.
Maybe you begin with a few minutes of meditation each day,
Right.
or you start paying more attention to your dreams.
Yeah.
Maybe you set an intention to make one conscious choice each day that's aligned with love rather than fear or ego.
Okay.
The important thing is to keep moving forward,
Yeah.
to keep exploring these ideas, and to trust that you have the power within you
Right.
to create the life you desire
Mm.
and to make a positive difference in the world.
Well said. And remember, you don't have to do it alone.
That's right.
There are so many resources available to support you on this journey.
Yeah.
Books, workshops,
Yeah.
communities, teachers, and of course, we're here to support you as well.
We are so grateful that you joined us for
Yes.
this deep dive into Caroline Meiss's powerful work.
Yeah.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and that you'll continue to explore these ideas in your own life.
And if you are feeling inspired to learn more,
Yes.
we encourage you to check out Caroline Meiss's books and workshops.
Yeah.
You can find links to those resources on our website,
Uh-huh.
along with information about our coaching programs,
Yeah.
which can provide you with personalized support on your journey.
Absolutely. And don't forget to share this episode with anyone
Yes.
who might benefit from Meiss's wisdom.
Right.
Let's spread this empowering message far and wide.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yes. Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow with a new deep dive into another inspiring teacher or thought leader.
Looking forward to it.
So be sure to tune in and keep exploring the incredible power that resides within you. And remember, you can visit www.ultimatemasters.org, coaching, or WhatsApp, +256 771 324 119 if you want more information.
That's right.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we would.